if somebody trusts you with their money, they kind of trust you with their lives. The majority of my conversations are them exposing some of the things they won't even talk to their own family about. They see that there's comfort in that somebody's listening and somebody cares. It's not a transaction at all. It's basically, this is a human that needs my help. And I think that's what's kept me in this industry, because time and time again, I have helped a widow after widow who's struggling and they don't know who to trust. Everybody just wants somebody to know their story, and we let them tell their stories, right? And so I just feel like I just need to take care of these people in a lot of the, situations.
Welcome to the Worth Beyond Wealth podcast,
where net worth meets personal worth. I'm Shannon.
I'm Ryan. We help families navigate the emotional, relational, and personal realities that money alone can't solve.
If you've built wealth but still wonder what it all means, or how to keep your family grounded while protecting your legacy, you're in the right place.
We sit down with experts and with you to talk identity, purpose, and connection beyond the balance sheet.
Because true wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in the impact we make and the relationships we nurture.
So grab a seat,
take a breath,
and let's redefine what it means
to be truly wealthy together.
This is the Worth Beyond Wealth podcast.
Well, we are here with Kim Jaques. We just chatted with Raleigh Vodchek and so yes, it was a great conversation. We had lots of, I think she's almost fun.
Almost fun.
We had almost fun.
Almost fun.
We had fun. But Kim is here with us today. She is a CFP, a principal and a wealth advisor here at RW with 3 decades of experience.
Yeah, that dates me.
I love it. You are someone who has built and led operations. You've done compliance before moving into advising. So you just really have had a wealth of knowledge that you've brought to the place that you're at today.
It's all I know.
It's all you know.
This industry.
This
completely.
Is it.
Yeah.
From the time you were a baby.
I just never wanted to leave.
Okay. So from the time you were out of school?
No, I was in college.
You were in college.
I was taking college courses and I got my Series 7 while I was going to college, and I worked full time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
Talk about tenacity.
Talk about tenacity.
Just do it.
Yeah. And being able to speak into young ladies' lives. I think that's another big piece here. And speaking of that, we know that more wealth is moving to women. We were chatting about that a little bit before the podcast, gearing up for this transfer of wealth that will be coming primarily to women when you look at the data. So the aim here at RW is to help keep it simple, help women feel prepared. That was the word that we used with that Raleigh said, prepared.
Yeah.
It really resonated with Raleigh. And we agree, right? Helping them to feel ready and calm. Yeah. So I think we want to talk about that today, because in your bio, you said, I knew I wanted to help people. How can we just kind of, I think, go into that? How can you help women who are new to finance, who are diving into this for the first time? What's been your experience?
I think really educating. I think people that, and just taking all this jargon down to the basic level so people can understand it. So, always when I'm dealing with maybe a new widow, or I tell them, I think we need to cover the basics so you kind of understand why you're investing your assets, because there's some critical things you need to stay ahead of, like inflation, right? And so I really think being able to care for where they are and understand that there is this learning curve they're going to have, and making sure that we step back to get them the foundation of what they need.
That is
and just
really powerful.
Taking the time, right? And so, it's not a transaction at all. It's basically, this is a human that needs my help. And I think that's what's kept me in this industry, because time and time again, I have helped a widow after widow who's struggling and they don't know who to trust. And he's sad.
That is incredibly powerful. What really hits me is how it just resonates throughout RW. You said, this is a human and they need my help. This isn't a transaction.
Right.
Raleigh started to kind of tear up just talking about the humanity of working with these people. These are not just clients. These are people. They're not numbers. They're not a file that goes into a cabinet. They're humans.
And you have to earn their trust. It's not given, right? And so what do you do to earn their trust is just be another human back to them and just, show them that it isn't the transactions. It's about getting to know what's important in their lives. And I always say, if somebody trusts you with their money, they kind of trust you with their lives.
Yeah.
And the majority of my conversations are them exposing some of the things they won't even talk to their own family about because they see that there's comfort in that somebody's listening and somebody cares.
What I hear you saying is that you are passionate about creating a safe space.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
You're all about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing at the end of the day.
Well, I think that's our stewardship, right? And our servant mentality.
You jumped right into stewardship.
Yeah.
You just took it there.
Well, it is.
I love it.
You started with what we call real wisdom. We educate because they're scared if they don't know. We fear those things that we don't understand. And I'll just confirm, there's nobody at this firm or anywhere that cares more about their clients. You fight for them. It just embodies who you are. It's powerful.
It's just time and time again. I tell my husband all the time, we talk about retirement, and I'm like, I just don't know how I can step away from clients. Like, that fills me up. And, just being part of their lives right.
And I think you said it, it's their money. If they trust me with their money, they trust me with their life.
People don't expose their finances to very many people. And so when you have, 3 decades of relationships.
You've walked.
Yeah. I'm not talking performance in those calls ever. I'm talking about their family.
How are you?
How
are your kids? Are you okay? What can I do?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it all about? What is the worth beyond the wealth?
Right.
So I think that's a great transition. Talking about worth beyond wealth, in your words, what is worth beyond wealth, and how do you see it show up in real life when you're dealing with your clients, your humans?
Yeah, I just had a meeting the other day, and I could tell they're just a little apprehensive of all the noise. And, well, what do you think? I think the market's frothy. We kind of started the conversation, and then I just educated. I said, let's go back to the basics. And we started saying why we're investing, what we're doing. And pretty soon, I could see the worth because they said, well, that's why we have you. Oh. That's why we trust you. Those words came out of the client's mouth because I was able to step back and, kind of rebuild that foundation of what
Take a breath.
Doing.
Go back to first steps.
Yes. And this is, we're prepared for that. We're prepared if the market goes down. You don't have to worry. I do the worrying, which I don't worry much because I understand what's happening.
Something you said triggered this thought that, we talk about this, but I think without us as a guide, people, they came in and they were worried about whatever they were seeing on the news or hearing from friends. And it probably related to timing the market at some level, right?
Right.
If they said the market's frothy, it means maybe we should get to the sidelines before it falls.
Right.
Well, that's market time. Or maybe it's, should we be buying gold or crypto or
some safe
NVIDIA or should we, so without us, people are kind of drawn to this siren song of what we call the illusions, but in investment selection, the illusion of investment selection or the illusion of market timing. But with us, we talk through that. So you talked through that with them. You didn't discount it and just move on.
Right.
You educated them, but then you turned it around and said, that's the wealth stuff, but what is the worth beyond that? Right?
Right.
I think that's...
Yeah, that we're going to...
Does that resonate?
Yeah, completely. We're going to educate you through this. We're going to educate you why we're doing what we do on your behalf.
And now we get to go in and plan. Okay,
Yeah.
Now that we've dealt with that, what are your long-term goals? What are your dreams?
Education, though, is so empowering. It's so empowering. I think that's what you're offering there, right? Is taking away that fear. And I'm also hearing that psychology of money resounding. Again, we chatted about this. Just you're the emotional barrier.
Right.
right? That they're coming in.
It's a safe place for them to say, I have fear. And how many times they
so
do hear
heightened.
from other people, right? Like outside. And I mean, I get those phone calls. Oh, I was at this party and people are telling me to invest in crypto. And I'm like, well, we don't do that.
You have to put on, you're kind of using your mom voice a lot of times.
Well, okay, well, let's entertain what I do.
Yeah.
Would you like to set up a play account?
That's exactly it. That's exactly. I'm not. I mean, if you want to go,
You want to do that, that's fine.
yeah.
But yeah, a story that has reshaped how you think about safety versus performance. Can you bring something up? Is anything coming to mind?
I guess when I felt like I am an advisor, is we were getting ready to come over to Charles Schwab, so we had to move an entire book of business, and not only that, I was retiring a former partner, and this particular client only worked with the former advisor. He didn't do a lot of planning, so I wasn't involved. And I always kind of had this feeling like he just wanted that hot stock and, like, oh, is this going to be a fit? And so he's like, okay, this is all getting dropped on me. You need to meet me at this restaurant. We're going to have a talk. And so I went. I was nervous, but I just kind of said, I just got to go in there and say what I do. And if it's not a match, it's not a match.
Yeah.
And it was a larger client. He sat down and he looked at me and he goes, okay, there's 3 rules I have. Don't lose my money, costs low, and I don't need to hit home runs. And I went, okay, this is not that's exactly who I am, right? That's exactly where we're going. I got you, And so he reiterated that. He walked out the guard, got all the paperwork in that for like an hour, signed it. We came over. He reiterated that like the next 3 years. He never had come into the office before with my former partner. Never. You always had to meet off site.
Interesting.
One day he called and he goes, I'm coming in and having a cup of coffee.
Wow.
And so
I think it was a compliment.
It was a compliment. And it's been where I realized he knows what we're doing. We're managing his core well. We're not trying to hit home runs and tell him get into crypto because you're going to make it. Because he doesn't want to see that go to zero because he's seen enough of that, right? Like your stock was not hot.
Yeah, this is over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's watched his wealth build and he's been really happy.
Well, it sounds like you've built trust beyond whatever
relationship
was said before, through relationships, through different conversations that centered probably more on worth.
Yeah. And we, COVID came and I was a safe haven for him to talk about his frustrations with his business. And
wow.
So yeah, it's just
a compliment.
Well, it's just naturally happening. It's not like I'm forcing it, right?
No, it's organic.
Yeah, it's organic. And I realize that's maybe something I'm comfortable doing with people is providing that trust so they're not worried.
Being a guide through the inevitable storms.
Yeah, right. Like,
has that experience changed the way you advise in general? Has it fed the way that you approach clients?
A little bit, because I think core wealth always,
Core wealth.
Yeah.
That's what it brought to you.
Yeah. It's real wealth, right?
Real wealth.
I want to be responsible for the real wealth to get you to your goals. This is how we're going to manage this responsibly. Just getting the permission from somebody I thought was interested in something else really solidified that people just want that piece, no matter how much they have in assets.
Mm-hmm. And the way they may come in and appear on the surface.
Yeah.
If you'll take the time to really dive in and know them, maybe there's a completely different. But you know people.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've introduced my family to some of my clients, and they're invested in my family too.
Wow.
Yeah.
We get to walk with people, I would say much more than their attorney, but much more than their CPA. I mean, you brought up that you were the first call. I know you've walked with many widows to this day. What gives you joy when you're working with clients?
No.
just knowing that they're taken care of, that somebody cares about them. I think everybody just wants somebody to know their story, and we let them tell their stories, right? And so we value that. Yeah, you listen and you value who they are as human beings.
We opened up with saying we know more wealth is moving to women, and you just said you work with a lot of widows. And we know that the data is saying that, 124 million by...
Trillion.
That's what I meant, trillion. I should look at my own notes, by 2045. And a lot of that being inherited wealth. A lot of widows, baby boomers. Talk about what is percolating for you with knowing what's coming and your heart to serve. I think you have a heart to serve widows.
Mm-hmm.
What is in your mind as you think about women and wealth and the fact that many women are reporting feeling unprepared to manage the windfalls of inheritance? There's a low confidence in managing inherited wealth. There's a significant share of women who have yet to even open an investment account. What is that saying to you?
That we need to educate the next generation as well.
Okay.
I mean, I think,
I hear that there's a lot of vulnerability can be so powerful, but I'm hearing that there's a vulnerability here that could be dangerous. And that kind of sends up a red flag for me. Like, education is critical right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to that?
Well, I think we need to, as a firm, probably get some things in place for clients, right? And kind of have maybe even a little mini university of, here are some resources and kind of a toolkit for those people that come into wealth unexpectedly. But we also need to train that next generation. And really, I think we're doing a good job of really trying to find culture fits and finding those people that really have the heart to serve. Because I don't think a lot of people just naturally have that. They have to really want to serve people.
Mm-hmm. Because you've said over and over, this is relationship. This isn't a transaction for you.
No, it never has been.
And not for anyone.
Yeah.
At RW, it is not a transaction.
No.
This is a human. This is a life story. I am privileged and humbled to get to walk with you in your journey.
I feel like it's what I'm supposed to do, is serve in this capacity. Mm-hmm. So I think that's just what I'm giving back. That's my give back, and it's your give back.
Speak to that a little bit. Just what do you see coming, and so education, if you think about widows that you have worked with up until this point, what have you learned? What have you gleaned from those experiences that you think you could even take that further into?
Well, I think especially working with widows, you have health issues as well. So a lot of dementia is happening, right? And then sometimes their families aren't able to support them in this realm, right? And I've been in situations where I kind of protect their wealth from those family members.
Interesting.
Right?
Well, that's an interesting statement, because we talked about how many of the people who lose spouses end up being women.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So,
right.
Women
5%.
naturally are outliving. So women are going to find themselves, statistically speaking, in charge of money. And if they've never done that, that can be overwhelming. And I've heard from some people that the statement might be made, well, I have sons. Or,
yes.
Or my kids will help. Right.
Yeah.
Now you're speaking to maybe another side of that. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's not just the answer.
Right. Right. And you have kids that they think they know is, a certain investment that they should do, and a lot of times that's not in their best interest.
But have they been educated? I mean, you said this next gen, there needs to be education. So what if they're not aligned?
Yeah. And a lot of times they're not, quite honestly.
Okay.
And competing interests, right? The more money that's maybe a parent doesn't spend is left to the next generation. I mean, and unfortunately, we know, and I'm certainly not speaking of any particular situation, but we know that often elder abuse happens at the
family,
because of family.
Yep.
Right. So there's some risk there if you just say, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. Right.
Have you seen any, not elder abuse, but have you seen or encouraged, had to encourage and bring along spouses who maybe didn't want to be involved?
Oh yeah.
all the time.
A lot of times I'll be laughed till then they come into this meeting. Oh no, they don't want to make it, right? And that's for me frustrating because there's a whole side that's not learning because they just let the spouse do a meeting.
And there's probably an assumption being made. I won't understand it. I'm not interested because it's just about money and he has that handled or whatever the case may be. But they're missing out on all of the dreaming, the goals, the things that, I mean, you've already brought up aren't around money, and so they would understand.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about in the program that we're working on, the Life Raft. Part of that, a big part of that is life, living in family enterprise. And that's what I'm hearing you say is educating your family, having next-gen preparedness, having everybody on the same page, and living in family enterprise. Goals, dreams, mission, vision, purpose. Are we all on the same page?
Yes.
And including everyone. There's a voice, you know. It's not just there's one person and they're in charge of everything and we just all kind of go along. And then we have questions at the end of the day because we're frightened because we don't know.
Yes.
You're saying, no, this is invitational.
Oh, absolutely.
This is invitational. There's education to be had.
Even during the meeting, I'll a lot of times stop and go, are you following this? Right. And,
wow.
you know, I think when we go through the planning, touching on the goals, I think that's where you do see the other spouse realize this is kind of like, this is about us, right? Mm-hmm. You're not just giving me numbers. This is, you're talking those goals. You're talking what we have. I'm seeing it on a page. So really diving into the planning and kind of their priorities tends to engage the other spouse that may not have really been interested before.
And there's something I'm hearing there too. You know, you said you really think education. I agree with you. I'm hearing it speaking to learning styles. That's what I'm hearing here a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's not auditory. Maybe once it's on paper. Yeah. And I'm a visual learner.
Right.
Maybe I am Socratic. I need to have this back and forth conversation. I need to be able to read and process and ask questions. And I'm hearing learning styles here.
Yeah.
And you see that?
Definitely. And if a spouse seems to be struggling, I'll say, do you need a one-on-one session with me?
Oh, I love that. So you're willing to coach.
Yep.
So when Raleigh was in here, we were talking a little bit about if a woman were to say to you, I'm really embarrassed to ask this question. I'm so intimidated right now. I don't want to ask you this. What would you say to them?
Oh, ask away. Like that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
This is my job. You need to understand what we're doing.
Yeah. And one of the things, it gets really personal to me is, you know, as I've endeavored to learn and been on this journey, I've why would you know that? Giving yourself permission to say, well, why would you know that? Well, of course you wouldn't know that. So you have to ask. You know, by trade, I'm in healthcare. And I ask myself this, well, Brian, why would you know that? So just ask me.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You wouldn't have to know that. And I think I had to learn, and I think you would say this to a spouse, you don't have to be an expert. That's your job.
Right.
But you do have to trust me and have a relationship with me and know that I am invested in you.
Correct.
And I want to educate you and I want you to feel so no question is stupid or too base.
And I even a lot of times will go, well, they say you need to probably hear this 7. Now it's like 10, maybe 20 times,
I
right?
love you for that.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly correct.
Yep. I'm like, so I probably said this last year, but you probably didn't remember. So
we
let's
would
cover this
retain
again.
it. So we need to cover it
And
again.
news gets to speak into your mind every day.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get once a year.
Once a year.
Exactly. Well, and one thing that I do is I work with adult learners in an underserved and unserved population. And that's one of the things I'm repeating, right? I'm repeating it.
Yep.
I'm sending it home in multiple forms for them. Video, written, auditory. We have a quiz because they have to hear it over
and over.
And over again.
Oh, yeah.
I say go home and practice
When I think
it.
it's potentially worse when it's in a topic like wealth that we know to be highly emotional. So it's not just learning.
There's already a barrier. There's already a fog.
Worry.
There's worry. There's fear.
Yep.
Truly. And when you are trying to learn in a heightened state, you are not retaining the information, period. We know this. It is going in and they're retaining very little.
And I grew up in this industry and I've seen a lot of changes on how advisors work, right? So when I started in the industry, It was, let me show you how smart I am. Let me give you the, and you could just see people glaze over. And then I even got to the point where, clients would be like, do we have to go through that? Right? Like, because it didn't resonate. I'm like, no, that's what you hire me for. I'll do all this, looking at these charts. You don't need to, just let's make it about
if you want to, that's fine.
Right.
I'll give you anything you want.
Exactly.
But if
access
not,
to it all.
I can distill this down and then you ask me anything you want.
And that's why the planning, I over the years, a lot of times they're like, okay, we're ready to go. And I'm like, well, do you want to know how the performance?
Don't you want to see the charts?
So
right?
Color coded.
I know. I'm like, oh, you're done. Okay.
So
But
I'm
I
curious,
have the gift
Kim.
of tenacity.
Yeah, I have
Everything these tabs.
We have 6 things on the agenda.
Yeah.
When you started in the industry, was planning really a thing?
Never. No.
Interesting.
Oh, gosh, no. It was what was the hot stock, and you pounded, like you went down the list of all the clients and you tried to push this stock. That was when I went into the business with Merrill Lynch. That was part of my training classes. Go research a stock and pitch it to all of us in the class. Sell the stock.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if it made sense for that client or not.
That's against the grain for you.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do that.
Really against the grain for you.
And when the market dropped, those were fun calls because you had to call every single one of them and get them out of that stock.
I can imagine for
What a different
you,
world. Stressful.
Oh, it was so stressful.
That's
so
what I'm just
stressful.
thinking about you as a person. That had to be so painful.
I had tenacity. I got it done.
Yeah, you got it done.
Yeah, but I didn't enjoy it probably.
But there was no joy in that.
Yeah.
Likely they didn't enjoy it either. But at some point they, nobody knew any different.
Any different. No. This is
So now we get to have purpose-based conversations about what their dreams and goals are.
100%.
I mean,
yeah.
it's, I assume, much more fun.
It is. That's why I now feel like I actually can serve people in this capacity, right? I'm not just,
Right. Well, you say too in your bio, I want clients to leave with an empowering feeling of forward momentum. So education does that for them.
Yeah.
Relationship does that for them. Planning does that for them. All of the things are intrinsic to you and the way you practice.
Well, yeah, I want them to leave with the peace of mind that we're okay. A lot of times I'll say,
You said the same. We're okay. So here's the interesting thing. In this Life Raft project, what's one of the number one, if not the number one question? Are we going to be okay?
Yeah.
And you said it.
Yeah.
Raleigh said it too.
Well, and a lot of times I'm like, A+ today, and that just, you could just see the relief.
As you plan with and for people, I think one of the things that is reality is we can't project the future. We can't perfectly map it out. And so part of becoming comfortable and knowing we're going to be okay is understanding contingencies and how we might react to or respond to, hopefully proactively, around things that come at us that aren't planned for. But do you want to speak to that at all? How do you help people prepare for the unexpected trials?
Kind of like a life event that occurs. Like,
Could be life event, market
Transitions,
event.
planned, unplanned.
yeah. I think, every time we're looking at the planet, there's going to be, in the market, there's the black swans, and then your life, those kind of events can occur to you, right? We can't plan around it, but we will know what to do in the moment to respond. That's what we plan for, is that this plan understands that there's going to be times where the market's not performing. There's also going to be times where we're going to have to step back and look at this plan based on scenarios that happen, whether it's a long-term care event or a loss of a spouse.
Right.
We go back and we kind of look at that. And a lot of times with my clients, as they get older, we start talking about those long-term care events and how are we going to fund a situation. And what's great about the planning tool is, if you know where you are, you know where you're going. So let's put
that's beautiful.
right where we are, and if let's do a scenario if this were to occur. What does that look like? To give them the assurances that we can look at those things.
So my next question was, how do you help a family feel truly at peace with their financial picture? But I think you're addressing it right now.
Well, I tell them that's why these meetings are so important. I need to know if we have health issues. I need to know, it's not just about how we're performing. It's this meeting's your meeting. about your life, and so I can be prepared for the next year to make sure we're doing the right things for you.
I love that you said that, because when Raleigh was in here, we were saying, how many times what do you feel is necessary to meet with a client? So that annual review is absolutely critical. We have to meet at a minimum once a year. But then I asked her, what if things are percolating and there are fears and concerns and worries, major life events that are starting to occur, a change in health, say, and that pops up and we're 3 months out from that annual review. She said, call.
Yeah, right.
What would you, same.
Yeah, same. Like, you call me anytime.
Call.
Yeah.
And if you need to come in and meet face to face,
Oh, absolutely.
come in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And that's how I present the plan. You see how dynamic this plan is. You call anytime. We'll go back through it. If you want to buy a new car, I'll throw it in here. We'll talk through it so you can see what that is.
So they're not a burden to you.
Oh, no, never.
These changes aren't a burden.
No.
This isn't an annoyance.
Well, and the funny thing is you get in tune with clients, and I'm like, I'll be thinking about somebody and I'm like, I gotta call them. They'll call me.
You are kidding.
No, it happens
It's like
all
a
the time.
sixth sense.
Oh, it frustrates me
So-
when I don't pick up the phone and call them, because I want to be the proactive person. And then I'll be like, oh, they caught me first.
I love that. I
It
was
is.
supposed to call them first. My ears were twitching. and-
Exactly. And I'm learning. You just pick up the phone and call when I hear that. And sometimes I'll just do it on my way in to work. Like,
and sure enough,
yeah. Oh, I was just going to call you. It happens all the time. Like,
that's crazy.
yeah, it really is. It's like,
I think you get like Best Investor of the Year award for that. Like you had some sort of like spidey sense.
I know, it's kind of freaks me out.
It's a
bit.
little freaky. I'm not gonna, but I will say maybe it's because you're a mom.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something, because it's happened pretty routinely the last probably 10 years.
So let's talk about the fact, okay, as a woman, as a daughter, as a wife, as a mom, have those things brought a different sense, perspective, strength to the way you engage with your clients?
I don't know. Sometimes I think you're either a nurturing person or you're not, right? Or just even your personality to just care for others.
Yeah. So you're a caregiver.
Yeah, I think I want to help people.
Uh-huh.
And so it just becomes,
It's
this
just
is what
intrinsic.
you do in your everyday life. But I do tell my family, a lot of times I'll be like, sometimes I'm not really great. I'm a gift giver, and I love to acknowledge birthdays, but we have so many people in our lives, right?
Yes.
I'm like, I do that all day long with my clients, and
Yeah.
I'm caring about their lives.
Okay.
And I have 100 plus households. And so I'm kind of like, I get home and I'm like, oh, I forgot so-and-so's birthday, on the family or friends side. And I'm like, oh, I can't be everywhere, but I will never let that drop with my clients, just because,
Wow.
they're just so ingrained.
That's why you have the spidey sense.
Yeah. Like,
They're ingrained.
I just feel like I just need to take care of these people.
Wow.
In a lot of the, situations.
Kim, what does real wisdom mean to you? What does that bring up?
You might say, oh, real wisdom, you know it all. Well, you don't know it all.
Yeah.
Right. And so real wisdom is knowing when you need to bring in an expert, or you need to do that research for the client situation. It's understanding that I have to learn and be a life learner right along with teaching my clients. So just knowing what you don't know is wisdom as well.
I'm hearing you say humility.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think wisdom comes with experience. So you're saying that. And not only can we not know everything, I think it's dangerous if we act like we do.
Well, sometimes I will even say, in fact, I'm having a succession planning with an attorney and CPA for one of my clients tomorrow. And I'm like, I know enough to be dangerous, so I needed to loop you in, because I started, down this conversation with the client. He's like, those are great points. And I'm like, well, we need to bring these people in, right?
Yeah.
Because I know enough to be dangerous.
Right. So you know enough to bring in a team, to have a multitude of counselors.
And be able to say, I
And
have to
be
step
able to
away
step
from
away.
that piece of it, right?
Okay.
Because I can guide you that you need this help.
Yeah, exactly. So you're a good guide on their journey.
Right.
That's really powerful. So from a client seat, what does a great meeting feel like? What do you think? When they walk away?
I mean, that they felt heard.
Heard.
I mean, that they knew I was here. I mean, I don't think I need to present in a meeting. You know, I think we all start out the meeting. I always say, this is your meeting. You know,
That's how you start every meeting.
Yeah.
This is your meeting.
this is your meeting. Like, what's top of mind for you? What can I answer today? Make sure that you leave and I've answered this. And, you know, a lot of times that gives them permission to go, oh, well, what do you think about the tariffs? Or what do you think about this person being the president, right? You know, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I can give you my opinion, but I have to play the Fed. I don't care either way. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's letting them expose themselves to what they're hoping to get out of the meeting.
Giving them permission.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the emotional process. I mean, everyone out there is saying it matters who the president is. But all of the data says it doesn't.
Right.
And so it's our job to bridge that gap and
Right.
get them to really focus on what matters
Right.
and not respond emotionally and actually damage the plan.
Exactly.
Which you've probably seen that too. Any examples or?
Where they try to damage the plan.
I mean, over the years, I can think of people that got out of the market because so-and-so was elected president and they didn't like that person. And here we are 300% higher. And
Yes.
and now when do you ever get back in? And So those kind of emotional reactions create damage.
Correct. And it's kind of a hard decision as an advisor if you finally have to say, okay, we're going to let you do this. And a lot of times I'm like, then I'm not your advisor. You're not.
Because I have to act within your best interest.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that's
And I
what
don't
this is.
believe this is so.
Yeah, as a steward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
that resonates, as a steward.
As a steward, this is
You
damaging.
care more about the person. This isn't a transaction.
Yeah.
I can no longer, I can't walk with you and be that guide if we're going to be in and out because of things that we can't control.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've had to say, we just need to part ways because you're paying me, but you're not taking my advice. Right. And so it's just not.
And I can't watch you get hurt.
Exactly.
Which is what I truly believe is going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And I think that's an important thing for listeners to hear.
It
that
is.
we care more about the person.
You could keep collecting.
than
Correct.
Paycheck.
Correct. And it's like, well, then this is just not a fit.
Yeah.
Just, I
I
can't
refuse
help
to let you become the transaction.
Right. And that's kind of the wisdom of saying,
There's the wisdom.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that what you're doing is not what you should be doing from my 3 decades of experience. You're going to hurt yourself.
You're going to hurt yourself. And your family.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that truth is, okay, so we're talking about women inheriting wealth. So often, truly believe the spouse wants what's best for, let's say, their wife. And so you're wanting to leave them in a place of strength for their family.
Right.
You're wanting to leave them in a place of safety. And if they can't partner with you to do that, you're saying we can't work together because we're not working together now.
Right. Right. I'm not able, you're not taking my advice.
I can't guide you.
Yeah. I'm struggling to guide you here.
And it will be very painful for me to see what happens to your spouse.
And those are difficult decisions,
Oh,
And usually it's, somebody that just can't be rationalized with,
sure.
in the moment.
I think one final maybe question here is, how do you keep both spouses engaged so that one person isn't just carrying it all? How do you try to keep that in tandem, sort of?
I really feel like I try to get to know each spouse
Separately, as different people.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not, and so I'll try to weave in things that plug them in, right? If we have one spouse that's kind of the decision maker.
Okay.
I'm bringing the other spouse in personally and what don't you understand? Or could I expand on this, right? Like, I feel like I really try to develop a relationship with both. I think maybe being a mom,
There it is.
Yeah. I just really find that, I can relate because I know in the past I've worked with advisors that couldn't relate to one of the spouses, right?
Sure.
And so, and even comments were made, oh, never looked at me, never talked to me.
I had a woman share with me just the other day. It was very painful for her. She said, I don't feel like my spouse is being treated well, but when he's not there, it's even worse for me, is essentially what she was saying. I'm treated
from their advisor.
even differently. But yes, from their advisor that they were currently working with. And she was sharing this. And to be able to talk to her about that. When I'm hearing you say, oh, no, we know you as individuals and as a couple, and I'm offering you the platform. I want to hear your voice. I want to know you, and I want you to feel free to speak.
Yes.
Do you find that as you're walking in time with them, maybe they're a little bit quieter, and then they get a little more of themselves, and they get a little more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean,
That's got to be fun.
it is, because you see them starting to plug in. Oh, I remember this chart, and you see them start to
That's
engage more.
rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as a teacher, because really that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing the fruit.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're getting a little spicy. I like it.
Well, and then as they walk through time, you've probably walked with people, and may not have been the scenario there, but if you've now equipped and prepared that spouse, whether it's a man or a woman,
Yes.
to handle the coming trial.
Right.
And we all will experience
We all
trials.
will.
Yeah,
And we
absolutely.
call them transitions, planned or unplanned. But when you get that call, if that was happening right now, what would you say to a person who says, I just lost my spouse?
I always say, I don't want you to think about any of this stuff, right? You have things to handle. Let's focus on getting through
Yes.
what you're dealing with right now.
Yes.
I'm a phone call away. Like, I'll do my side, and then he'll be talking soon, but just, I'm here. I worry about this stuff for you. You don't need to.
That's my job.
Yeah, that's my job. You need to go be with your family. And then even in a divorce situation, right?
Yes.
You kind of talk about this inherited and the spouse
But
leaves.
that's the other side.
Yeah.
And that's on the notes.
Kind of
Divorce
speaking
too.
back to
Yeah.
kind of getting to know each individual. I
Yes.
probably had 6 divorces, and I've kept both spouses.
I am telling you right now, that is really powerful.
And then the last divorce I went through, they said, well, who gets you?
Oh,
So
I don't
Was
think
it
you
written
can
in their legal
That's
agreement?
But I think that just speaks to the heart of being the steward to the human. Right?
Well, and it's curious, and to me, and maybe people just aren't. Some people in our industry aren't curious about others, right? They're only concerned with themselves. And I really feel like I've always just been more interested in other people than myself.
Widowed women often switch advisors. So let's say 80% leaving their current financial advisor within a year of their spouse's death. Do you see that happen?
No.
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 And it has to be because you've built relationship.
And I don't know if maybe it's a female advisor lets the guard down for another female,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's something there.
Some security, maybe.
Yeah. And I remember when I was with Wells Fargo, they had, whole training courses for men on how to relate to the female spouse.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I
Okay.
mean, there might just be a natural, whereas I probably, like this client I spoke to that I was nervous about
Yeah.
coming with me, right?
Gentleman.
I originally felt like nervousness going, how am I going to keep this person interested and engaged
As a female
as
advisor.
a female? Yeah. Yeah. But, a long time ago when I was at Merrill Lynch, I remember a client saying, I want a female advisor because
Interesting.
they'll be honest, which
Well,
is crazy,
I think there's data that says women are better investors. And
More conservative.
I have to believe that relates to they don't show as much overconfidence. We men know.
Oh, that's
So, we can have some pretty strong opinions.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is a reality to the value of being a woman advisor.
yeah,
I think
potentially.
I'm grateful to have 6 women advisors in this.
I
group.
love
I think
it.
it makes us so strong.
Yeah.
6 women advisors.
Well, it's the servant,
3 owners.
mentality,
Yeah.
stewardship, and then
Yeah.
just comes natural probably. For
But I
us.
think it's important to point out that this has been something that's happened organically. That was not planned. That was not, oh, well, we have to have. No, that was a natural progression.
Yeah.
How beautiful.
Yeah. No.
And you feel that it's powerful. You're surrounded
Yeah,
by women
it's-
in your life. It's everywhere you go.
No, it is powerful. It makes us stronger. And I think we often go into meetings with multiple advisors.
Yeah.
And so it's great when there's both a male and a female. And I think that's a powerful combination.
Yeah.
Strengths.
Yeah.
Sharing strengths and dynamics and different perspectives.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah. Disarms, the clients
Wow.
to say,
I can see that.
yeah.
I could see that.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah,
or
anything else?
around?
The mic is yours.
You have a lot of notes.
You do. No, is there something pressing?
As a firm, are doing a good job at promoting who we truly are at the heart. And that's just, I think people are we always say, we only take so many on our arc. And I think, the people that come on our arc are very lucky.
So that's what you want listeners to walk away with.
Yeah, that we will take care of you. I don't think there's one person in this office that doesn't want the client to succeed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Worth Beyond Wealth podcast. If you liked this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. The highest compliment you could give would be sharing this with a friend. Thank you. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or any specific security. RW Investment Management, LLC, DBA RW Investment Management is a registered investment advisor. Testimonials given by current clients are not in exchange for compensation. This document is solely for informational purposes. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RWIM and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns. Investing involves risk and possible loss of principal capital. No advice may be rendered by RWIM unless a client service agreement is in place. RWIM is not a legal or tax advisor.